Hello. Today is Monday in the third week of Lent. We're getting close to the middle point of Lent. And today we hear a story in the first reading, one that Jesus talks about in the gospel today. And it's a story that I love. It's a story of this guy called Naaman, a Syrian general. And he has leprosy. I mean, this guy has been a great soldier, a great leader of his army. In fact, sometimes that army has threatened Israel itself, but he has leprosy, and he learns from an Israelite slave that, there's a prophet in Israel that could probably cure him of his leprosy. Well, he tells the king, and the king sends him to the king of Israel in Samaria and says, I'm sending my servant, and I ask you to make him well, cure him of his leprosy. And the king, of course, goes crazy because he said, oh, wow, this is just looking for an excuse to go to war with us. He doesn't know what to do, but the prophet Elisha sends him a message. He says, send him to me. And so the general comes to Elisha, and he's expecting something spectacular, something wonderful. And he gets a message by way of a servant. Just go wash 7 times in the Jordan River. He's really upset because that just is too simple and it seems goofy to him. And so he's ready to storm away, and his servants calm him down. They say, sir, if he asked you to do something really difficult, you would have done it, right? He only asked you to do something simple. And what happens is that Naaman does what the prophet Elisha asked of him, and he's cured. This pagan, this alien, receives a healing from God through the intercession of the prophet Elisha. And I love that story because I think about what it means to be a disciple of the Lord Jesus, to follow him. And I think sometimes we're looking for the complicated, we're looking for the difficult, and we make it that way. And somehow following Jesus is not something that's at all easy. And I think I look for the complications just as an excuse not to follow through. But at the Last Supper, when the Lord Jesus showed us the great depth of his love by giving us the gift of his body and blood, he taught us, love one another as I have loved you. That's the only command he gave us. He taught us that. And it's just that simple. Some of us at night, before we go to bed, take stock of our day and say, okay, where did we screw up somehow? Where did we sin? Where did we fail? And we try to correct that. And we'll say, let me give you a different take. What if at night we said, okay, where were those moments when I was loving today? Where was I a sign of God's kindness and compassion to another? It doesn't have to be a big thing. A door held for another, giving another one, a cut into the traffic. It could be anything. Could be a good word said to somebody who's working hard. But it's in those moments of kindness, those moments of love, that we live out that command. And if we can recognize those, what I did today, maybe I can do even more tomorrow. Because in the end, my sisters and brothers, we won't be judged on how much we've sinned, but rather on how much we've loved. It's as simple as that. Let's not complicate it. Let's look for ways where we can simply show the love of God as a part of our daily living. Have a grace-filled journey to Easter.